Following the star map's coordinates, the Valiant set off toward planet Mythara. After more than 40 days of travel, they finally arrived. From afar, Mythara appeared as a purple planet shrouded in clouds of stardust, giving it a mystical look. Surrounding Mythara were many meteors floating as though attracted to the planet, circling in irregular paths, with some even falling onto its surface.
Be careful, Leah. There are a lot of meteorites there.
Captain Elliot reminded Leah to pilot carefully and avoid the meteors. Suddenly, one large meteor changed direction and shot straight at Valiant. Leah turned the ship quickly and precisely. The Valiant turned sharply and avoided the meteor at an incredible speed. Slowly and cautiously, Valiant moved closer to Mythara's atmosphere. In about 10 minutes, they were so close that Mythara filled the ship's observation window entirely. As they prepared for landing, Ian got everyone's protective gear ready, Carl checked the landing equipment, and Naomi tested her handheld scanner. Leah focused on piloting, with Elliot observing ahead from behind her seat. Suddenly, a bright flash blinded them all. When the light faded, Leah was shocked to find Mythara had moved away from them. As they all wondered what had just happened, another meteor, similar to the last, came barreling toward Valiant. Leah controlled the Valiant to dodge it again. Confused, the crew could only approach Mythara slowly once more. After another 10 minutes, Valiant neared Mythara's atmosphere. The planet grew larger in the window until its full form was out of sight again. Elliot ordered everyone to prepare for landing. Ian got everyone's protective gear ready. Carl checked the landing equipment, and Naomi tested her handheld scanner. Leah focused on piloting, with Elliot observing ahead from behind her seat. But just as before, a blinding light flashed, and Mythara had moved away from them again.
It's running away!
Looks like it doesn't want us nearby.
Watch out, another meteor.
A familiar meteor was hurtling toward them, but Leah expertly maneuvered the Valiant out of its path. Watching the meteor closely, Elliot's expression grew thoughtful. Suddenly, he had an idea and ordered Valiant to advance slowly again. This time, they placed space markers along the way. 10 minutes later, Valiant neared Mythara's atmosphere, but this time Elliot did not give the order to prepare for landing. Another flash of light, and again, Mythara was distant. Elliot realized something important and shared her discovery with the puzzled crew.
Did you notice our space markers are gone? If Mythara were moving away, the markers would still be there. So in fact, we are moving away from Mythara, not Mythara moving away from us.
We're moving away from Mythara?
So is it a shy planet? Or are we a shy spaceship?
Could it be...
We traveled through time?
Yes. Every time we approached it to a certain distance, it would take us back to the time when we encountered the same meteor 10 minutes ago. Carl, get the robotic arm ready to catch it. I think it's important.
Carl readied the arm for the next meteor, waiting to grab it.
Mythara doesn't want us too close, so whenever we get near, it pushes us away, through both space and time.
Then how do we get closer?
I noticed that the meteors orbit Mythara without being pushed away.
We can think of ourselves as a meteor.
So we turn off our electronics and let Mythara's gravity pull us in, and with the meteor we catch, we can accelerate toward it.
5 minutes later, the Valiant moved closer to Mythara planet. This time, just a bit farther than the distance where the white light had appeared before. The captured meteor was held at the ship's rear by the mechanical arm. Then the arm pushed the meteor hard, sending it drifting into deep space in the opposite direction of Mythara. With all electronic systems powered down, the Valiant relied on the reverse thrust of the meteor to drift quietly toward the planet. As they drew closer, they could clearly see cities and rivers on the planet's surface. And just as they hoped, the white light did not appear again. The Valiant landed on a large city square, and the crew stepped out, cautiously removing their helmets. They discovered the air was breathable, like on Earth. It seemed that Atlantis technology had created a perfect Earth-like atmosphere. They observed the blue lightings around them. Some have futuristic designs like shopping malls or schools, while others have traditional Atlantean designs like libraries and temples. Even the homes in the distance were divided between these two designs. The crew realized that this was due to the different lifestyles of the Celestians and the Nautalians. A towering building by the square caught their eye. With a futuristic design but covered in ancient Atlantis carvings and text, it looked like a blend of both cultures. The crew entered, guessing it might be a hall or a council chamber. Suddenly, Naomi's scanner beeped, detecting a strong energy pulse coming from a building next to the hall. They walked over and entered what appeared to be a science lab, filled with scattered equipment, computers, and papers. The energy pulse came from a small room inside the lab. At the center of the room, a crystal placed in a broken protective device, radiating energy. It was this energy that caused the time vortex, drawing Valiant into its loop. Carl quickly covered the crystal with a shield brought from the Valiant, prevented the energy wave from leaking out further. Carl and Naomi began working to stabilize the crystal while the others searched for clues. Leah found a working computer with records. From these, the crew learned Mythara's history, the scientists' studies of the crystal, and the incident that caused the accident. However, Zarek's motives remained a mystery. One note stood out to Elliot: find Zarek and protect the universe's timeline. Carl and Naomi's research revealed that the crystal was too powerful to be stable on Mythara. But if installed on Valiant, they could monitor its energy safely. Elliot agreed, realizing the crystal could even power their ship, enable faster-than-light travel, and even open time wormhole. At that moment, they also felt a deep responsibility and promise to Atlantis, to find Zarek, who was lost somewhere in time. Hours later, the crystal is safely housed within the Valiant's power system, powering the Valiant and enhancing all of its functions. The planet Mythara returned to calm, and the Valiant prepared for their new mission: find Zarek.